Well, hello there. Happy almost Halloween. I am making some last minute Halloween decorations because we're the ones in the friend group who are hosting Halloween this year, and it was sort of a last minute decision. And I don't have many seasonal decorations, despite being a lover of Halloween and of fall. I just don't buy decorations very often, and it takes a long time to build up a collection. And I've always wanted to make my own decorations so that I can reuse them every year. I just think it sounds like fun, but I've never devoted the time to actually making them. So why not do that just a few days before Halloween? I've already crocheted a couple spider webs. I made this really creepy looking one. I think this is my best one. I crocheted it out of some fingering weight yarn and it took a while. It took me the entire length of Coraline plus like 15 minutes. I also made this corner one that I think also looks really cool. And I'm currently working on a massive spider web. This is a free, all of these patterns are free. I'll link everything below. I think I'll end up only using free patterns or, patterns that only cost a few dollars. But the one I'm working on right now is gonna be a massive spider web. It's actually like a table covering, but I think we're gonna hang it in our like big front window. And I'm using some like worsted weight yarn, I don't know, something that I just found in my scraps. And this is an interesting way to knit or crochet a spider web because you make all of these big loops and you put stitch markers into specific chains so that you know where to connect the loops on the following round. So it kind of takes a while. It's a little bit tedious having to take out and put back in the stitch markers, but I think it's kind of genius because it does create a giant spider web relatively quickly since you're just working with these like giant loops. So this is the one that I'm currently working on. I also have some of this cream fingering weight yarn that I want to use to make another of the first spider webs that I made. So that's all I have like planned out. I really haven't thought through it too much. I would also love to make some pumpkins. I have never made a pumpkin, which I feel like it's a rite of passage as a crafter who loves Halloween and fall. So I'll probably be making a few of those, maybe knit, maybe crochet, not sure yet, but I think they would be really nice as a centerpiece on our table. Okay, other than that, I really don't know what else I'm going to make. I think it's just going to depend on how much time I have, because even though these are last minute and pretty quick, they still take some time, a couple hours per piece. Ooh, I would love to make some ghosts too. I think ghosts are an essential part of Halloween. I hope next year I'll be a little bit more organized and start this before the holiday is like upon us. I say that every year and it's just hard. There's a lot of stuff going on right now, but let's just have some fun together. If that sounds good to you, let's go. It's a few hours later. I'm sitting on my couch and I just hit the point working on my spider web where I've run out of yarn. It's a little bit smaller than I was hoping, but that's okay because I'm just going to add on to it with a different black worsted weight yarn. I don't know why I didn't think of this in the moment, probably because I was working on this late at night and was very tired. I also have been making these little pumpkins. So this is a pumpkin coaster pattern. I think they turned out a little small to be coasters, but I've made 4 of them in these 2 colors. I think I will make one more so that I have an odd number. So I'll make one more of this color and then like string them and make a bunting and hang them up somewhere. So I think that'll be cute. I want to make a bunch of different like themed coasters. So I have been looking on Ravelry. I found a bunch of different patterns and one of them is like a Halloween cat, probably a black cat, but I wanted to try making an orange cat. So this is the same yarn and this is like honestly maybe a little big for a coaster, but closer to the size of a coaster that I would expect. So I might try going down a size in my crochet hook and maybe using a slightly thinner yarn and making a few more of these. And a ghost, which I started the other night. This is again just some wool, some worsted weight wool that I have. Yeah, so I started this. This will be a little ghost, so I'll probably make a few of these. And then I still want to make some like 3D pumpkins, which I'll probably, I don't know if I'll crochet or knit those. Maybe I just need to find the right pattern, so I will get working on that. But I just wanted to give you a little update on how things are going. These are fun to make, but they also just like take a little while. Like I kept messing up this crochet pumpkin for some reason. I think it took me a while to get back into crocheting and reading crochet patterns. And just like keeping track of like where my beginning of round was. At first I was counting my chain one as a stitch, and then I read the notes in the pattern that said not to count it as a stitch. So there were a few things like that that I just kept messing up. And so it actually took me quite a while to like get the hang of it. But then once I got it down, I made quite a few. So that's what's up. I finished up work. I need to go to the grocery store now. It is quite gloomy outside, and I'm just gonna keep working on my decorations. So we have a few days until the party. So I think I'm still like on track. But of course I have to do a bunch of other stuff for the party. So we'll see. I'm just gonna get done as much as I can, and whatever I finish is gonna be perfect for the party. Oh, I forgot to mention, we went to a pumpkin carving party last night. It's been a few years since I've carved a pumpkin, so it was fun to do. And now we have delicious pumpkin seeds. Okay, I'll check in with you later. I got a little tired of crocheting, so I've switched to knitting. I am making this pumpkin where you just knit a ribbed tube and then you close it up on both sides and stuff it. And I think I'm gonna focus on making these today as like a centerpiece on our table. So I'm using up this random skein that I got from a D-stash, and I think I have like maybe an inch to go on this before I cinch it up. So here's my plan for the next few hours. I have this super chunky yarn that I got, I think from Michael's many years ago. I don't remember what this was for, but I was going to donate it. But now I think it's going to make a really great giant pumpkin. And I have these like huge needles that will go with this yarn. And then I also have these leftovers of fingering weight yarn that I think I will hold together. And then I'm also going to make a few more of these pumpkins as like a bunting to hang up somewhere. And then I'm going to switch back to the spooky stuff because I think we have too many pumpkins. We need some more spooky vibes in here. But the spider webs are looking good. I would also like to make a few more of those. So maybe once I finish up the pumpkins, I'll go back to the spider webs and then we'll see where I'm at. I'm starting to get a little bit fatigued on making decorations. I definitely prefer garment making, so this is a little bit outside of my comfort zone. But I'm gonna keep going, and I think, you know, at least this pumpkin will be really fast. Look how cute! I decided to do the stem the same color, and I think this is like the perfect size, and actually a little bit bigger than I expected it to be. It's a very simple, free pattern. I'll link it below with all the others. And I've gotten started on the super chunky one. This is 20 stitches fewer than this one, and it's probably gonna come out a little bit bigger. The pattern actually has you working the same amount of stitches regardless of what yarn you're using, just to like create different sizes, but I think I want mine to be a little bit closer in size. And yeah, this took me not too long. But I cannot stand this. I really don't like working with giant needles and super thick yarn. It doesn't even feel like knitting to me. The good thing is that I already owned these needles and this yarn, I didn't buy it specifically for this. I bought it a really long time ago for a different project that I completed, but I just don't work with this kind of stuff very often. So I now know not to invest in like super big needles and really chunky yarn. But honestly, it really worked out for this project. So I'm gonna keep working on this. Hopefully I can wrap this up pretty quickly because my hands are already hurting. This is the most fall Halloween outfit I could put together. I'm wearing this like cute Halloween witchy shirt with a flannel with the exact same colors. Here is how my super chunky pumpkin turned out. As I mentioned, I cast on fewer stitches so that it was closer to this size pumpkin because I just didn't want like a massive pumpkin. And let's be honest, I don't have the patience to work with this chunky yarn for very long, so I did what I could, and I think it turned out cute. I left the tails as sort of like a little stem, and I think I'm gonna like crochet a leaf and attach it. So I have 2 pumpkins. I think I will make at least one more with that other yarn that I showed you, and then probably at least one more spider web. And then we'll see where I'm at. I did mention that I wanted to make some ghosts of some sort, and I had started to make a little ghost coaster, and I just don't know that I am in the mindset to make a full set of those, even though they are very cute. I have a few days until the party. I need to clean and cook and make the food and all of that leading up to the party. So before I continue making decorations, I'm going to take a trip to Michael's and see what decor options they have. I'm not looking to spend a ton or like go all out or anything like that. I'm mostly just looking for a tablecloth and maybe like a table runner or something like that. And if they have some like cute, relatively inexpensive but still decent quality decorations, then I'll end up buying those. I have a feeling they're gonna have like ghost decorations. Like I feel like they're gonna have an abundance of that, and also like maybe some bats, and those are the things that I'm definitely missing. So I'm just gonna see what I can find, and then I'll know kind of where I need to fill stuff in with the things that I'm making. This is just a very low-key, chill party, and I'm really not putting like pressure on myself or anyone to bring the Halloween spirit. It just is what it is at this point. I am finding it a little bit hard to celebrate Halloween, or if I'm being really honest, like anything fun right now. I'm a big fan of horror movies, and so typically around this time I really ramp up the horror movies that I'm watching. And I've watched a couple this year, but I'm just finding it hard to immerse myself in spooky season. Like it's hard to want to put a bunch of ghosts in my house when there are ghouls right now in the world doing really bad things. You feel me? It's just the vibe is not amazing. And I'm just doing my best to like make some cute and fun things within my capacity. And I feel like you get it. So we're not gonna do like a giant haul or anything grand or major at the end of this video, but I'm just gonna go see if like, I don't know, I can make my house a little bit more festive. Try to bring some vibes to the function, and you know, we'll see how that goes. So on the schedule today, I'm going to go to Michael's. I need to go to the grocery store to buy groceries for our meals this week and also food for the party. And I think I would also like to go thrifting if I have time, because we have not figured out our Halloween costumes yet. And so maybe I can go find some stuff for what we have in mind. Like I said, we're keeping it very low-key and chill. So if we don't end up finding the perfect costume, like who's gonna be mad? There's already too much to get mad about in the world right now. Okay, I'm gonna go see what I can find. So Michael's selection was pretty abysmal. They were putting out all of the Christmas stuff, which I guess was to be expected. They had everything that was left over from the Halloween season just thrown onto this aisle, and everything was 50% off, which was the reason that I was going. But as you can see, I was not impressed. They did have a nicer fall, like Thanksgiving section. There were some items that I thought were cute, but then when I looked closer, I realized they were already falling apart. So I did not pick up those, but I will show you what I did get. I got 2 items from the Halloween section. I got this ghost tray platter, so that's gonna be cute to set out like cookies or something. I also got this little tea towel, which, believe it or not, was the least corny of all the towels they had. I found this like metal leaf to be a centerpiece, or like the base of the centerpiece on our table. And I also got this tiered tray that I thought would be nice, again, to like put desserts on or something. And I picked up these little dessert plates at a party store that I went to. So I mostly just got things that will hold other items. Oh, and I did find a couple of plastic tablecloths. I wanted like a nice fabric one, or at least like a table runner, and I did see both of those at Michael's. They had one option, neither of which were my style. And now I'm home. I think I'm gonna get started on that 3rd pumpkin. Oh, and I got this guy. Hello. Don't mind the wool in the background or my hair, because I don't know what it's doing. But I just got home and I got a cold brew from one of my favorite local coffee shops. Also, I'm wearing my Wool of Fortune sweatshirt from Ritual Dyes. So I am working on this little pumpkin, and this is gonna be the last pumpkin that I make. I decided I needed an orange one to go with the brown one that I made for the centerpiece, and then that chunky one is gonna go somewhere else. So I've just been working on this. It's the same style where it's just like a tube and then you cinch up both ends. So I want to finish this up in the next however long it takes me, few minutes or so. Let's be real, it'll probably take me like 20 minutes. And then I want to make another spider web, because I have one more place that I would like a spider web, so we're gonna commit to one more in the same style as the first one that I showed you, the black like fingering weight one. And I have some more fingering weight yarn. So that's what I'm gonna spend my evening doing. Earlier I was cleaning up some of our bookshelves and a ceramic plant pot fell on my toe. Luckily, the pot was fine. The plant was mostly okay. It had some damage done, and my toe is like mostly not okay. I don't know about you, but that was just not what I needed to happen in this moment. So I've been resting it and icing it. So I'm gonna sit on the couch tonight and prop my foot up and make a spider web. Last night we put together a Halloween playlist for the party. It is over 14 hours long, but I've been listening to it to vibe check it, and I think it's really good. There are a bunch of songs in there that, to me, sound spooky and that are giving like spooky Halloween vibes, but they're not like Halloween songs. You know, there's not that many Halloween themed songs. And then we also put some like soundtracks from horror movies and horror games, and it's really good. I was driving around looking at all the fall leaves and the beautiful colors. The weather is gorgeous, and I was listening to our Halloween playlist, and it just was nice. It was bringing me back from my little crash out earlier. So okay, I don't know how long I need to make this. Like, it's probably 5 inches at this point, and that seems good to me. So I need to go grab my tapestry needle. I'll be right back. So you just string the stitches through and like cinch them up, and then you stuff it. Luckily I have some of this polyfill on hand, and I'm glad that I get to use it because I regret buying it. I didn't realize I was buying so much. I bought it like years ago. So it's just been sitting in my closet, and I don't make stuff like this very often, but I'm glad I have it in situations like this. Okay, I think this is gonna be a good size. And then I'm just gonna sew up the first side a little bit more just to prevent it from coming undone. And then you take the tail from the other side and cinch it up as well. So I don't know if you caught earlier, but over the weekend I watched Over the Garden Wall for basically the first time. I had kind of seen it because I watched like part of it at a party years ago, but people were like talking over it. I didn't really feel like it counted because I didn't remember much from it. So I watched it again and it's really cute. Everyone says to watch it. And yeah, it's very like whimsical, which I'm gonna be honest is not usually my thing, but I love Elijah Wood and Melanie Linsky. And I'll basically watch anything that the two of them are in. Okay, so now that we're at this stage, I'm going to sew through it to like pinch the middles together so that it looks like the shape of a pumpkin. If you're looking for some like spooky but not like Halloween themed music, the original soundtrack for the movie It Follows is really good. It's by Disaster Piece. Great artist, great movie. I watch that one every year and I already did my rewatch and it's just such a good movie. It's so interesting, such a like original idea. And I love Micah Monroe. And I've been thinking that I need to do a marathon to watch like all of her movies. I haven't seen Longlegs yet, so I might watch that one next. I've heard mixed things. And then I like Hot Summer Nights. I'm due for a rewatch of that one. And then The Guest is also a really fun movie. I love to pick a person, like an actor or director, and then like watch their discography. Okay, almost done with this. I do need to make the stem, which I think I'm gonna make green, sort of a classic green and orange pumpkin. It's pretty cute. It's a little lumpy, but I think that just adds to the charm. Moving on to the last spider web. So if you're familiar with crochet, you just start out with a little ring with double crochets, and then you just start making a bunch of chain spaces with double crochets, and eventually you switch to triple crochets. And it's just a lot of chaining. I don't think I'm gonna make this one quite as big as the other one. I think I had more yarn to start out with. And the fun thing about these spider webs is like you can really make them as big as you want, because it's simple enough to figure out how to make them bigger. Like I think I added 1 or 2 rounds to the other one that I made. So yeah, we're just building it around and around, and it does like take some time, but I like to throw a movie on. That's probably what I'll do tonight because I do need to break soon to make dinner. So as soon as my boyfriend is done with work, we will get started on that. And just gonna be crocheting. I actually learned how to crochet before I learned how to knit when I was a kid, so I feel like it comes pretty naturally to me, although obviously like knitting kind of took over more than crochet. But I like to crochet every now and then just to kind of stay on top of my skills. Okay, here's where I'm at. It is starting to look like a spider web, but I need to put the like center columns in, which I think happens soon, and that is like when it really starts to look like a web. So I'm gonna keep working on this until we make dinner, and I'll see you then. Longlegs was weird as hell. I liked some of it. I think I liked it more than I expected I would, based on thoughts from my friends and other people who've seen it. I'm glad I watched it. I liked maybe 50% of it. I liked where it was going. It was quite creepy. Nicolas Cage was Nicolas Cage, but it really fell apart in the third act. And so yeah, I don't quite know how to feel about it. While I've been like cleaning and getting ready for the party, I have been listening to Bat Eater and Other Names for Corazing by Kylie Lee Baker. I started this back in like July for Summerween, and my hold lapsed before I was able to finish it. So I was like 70% of the way through, and I just finished it, and wow. Highly recommend. It's a horror novel. It's a ghost story, but it's so much more than that. But it focuses on a woman who is a crime scene cleaner in Chinatown, and it's set in like early pandemic. And the novel opens up with her sister being violently murdered. And so she is sort of haunted by these ghosts, and she's haunted by this serial killer who's targeting East Asian women. And so we are following her story through all of that. It is quite heavy, but it's really, really good. And if you're a fan of horror novels, highly recommend. It's definitely one of my favorites this year. Next on the list is a hold that just came through. I don't know much about it. It's called The Dead Husband Cookbook. And it's about, I think, a journalist who is pairing up with a famous chef to help her write her memoir. And years ago, this chef's husband died mysteriously, and nobody like knows what happened. So I'm gonna start that, and I don't even remember why I put it on hold. Probably somebody on BookTube recommended it. So I'm gonna wrap up the vlog here. I think I've made all the Halloween and fall decorations that I have in me this year, but I'm motivated to do this again next year, and just keep building my collection pretty slowly each year. So thanks for watching my silly little Halloween vlog. I hope that I was able to bring some of the fall vibes despite everything in the world being a giant dumpster fire. It just doesn't feel very festive right now, and it hasn't for a while. But one of the big things that helps me when I'm feeling this way is my community. So I'm looking forward to the Halloween party. And yeah, I'll see you again at some point. Bye.